What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, and I am back with another Player Prop Talk live stream here on the channel. As always, I hope this finds you doing well and in good spirits. Going to be digging into some player props today, building out some slips, calling it a day. Going to make quick work of this live stream. I hope your Monday went well. Hope your Monday was better than my Monday. A lot of chalk on PrizePicks and Underdog. Broke even for the day because I had a pretty decent day on BETR, but for the most part, just a lot of nasty, a lot of nasty slips. Not happy with the result, but we move on to a new day with new plays and new value. So one thing for sure, we don't have to worry about any PrizePicks and maintenance today, which kind of threw us off yesterday. Let's get this going. Per usual, #blessed. Getting up every single day is no guarantee. 10% of the US population dies in their sleep. So if you're hearing this, seeing this, you did not die in your sleep. So you're off to a pretty good start. Not too many things better than waking up unless you decide to wake up and play on BETR. If you're not yet signed up, use that QR code. Double up your deposit match up to $250. Don't see any promos on BETR today, but usually one day a week they will designate for promos, and you can put $5 on each promo, or you can max out the full 20 on one. So maybe that'll be tomorrow. I don't know if it's a set day. I feel like sometimes it's Wednesday, sometimes it's Tuesday. But be on the lookout for that if you're playing on BETR. We're going to be using the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer to help us locate value across the industry today. If you want to sign up for OddsJam, take advantage of this promo, 30% off your first month. That's my code on the screen. We're going to be using this during the live stream, so you'll get a chance to see how it looks and works and functions. And if you want to sign up, boom, use that promo code. Super easy. All this information also is in the stream description of all my streams. And we're going to be using props.cash to help us locate value. I keep saying it. We're not using props.cash to locate value. We're using props.cash to dig into player props. So ideally, we'd like to find some value on OddsJam and then, dig into it a little bit more using props.cash, because they have lots of different resources that we can use in terms of BVP, last 5 and 10 games, matchups, and all sorts of things. So we can definitely take advantage of that. But we'll be using these two resources today to help us build some slips out. So without further delay, let's hop on over to the OddsJam Optimizer and pull this up on the screen. And we can start taking a look at this value on the board. So yesterday's value was just not there for PrizePicks because of all the maintenance. And then once it finally popped up, there was just a lot of inconsistency with the props. But we do have a lot of value. A lot of it, most of it is esports, and a lot of it is single data point plays. So the only issue with data points, or the only issue with the single data points, is you don't really know which is the true line. When you have 3-4 data points, you get an idea of where that line needs to be set and try to find the biggest mismatch in the industry. My dog is playing with her squeak toy. So yeah, there is a lot of plays. I have played some of these single points before. Sometimes, they're there, and if you need an extra player too, they're there and they're grading out really well. And it is a little risky for me because there's not a whole lot of support, but they've worked out for me in the past. So I'm not opposed to using some of these, but I'd really like some plays with just a little bit more support. We don't seem to have that right now on PrizePicks. So yesterday we honestly almost didn't build out a PrizePicks slip because the value was so bad and their board was so bad. But We were able to build out a slip on underdog and better. And at the very end of the stream, we did build out a slip on PrizePicks, and it did not do well because we had to go with some demons and some questionable plays just to piece it together. I won't be doing that today. I'm not forcing any plays today or forcing a slip for the sake of it. So we're here to build the best slips that we can with the best value. And if PrizePicks doesn't happen to have any value that I like, we're just not going to build a slip. I'll be more than happy to show you what the board looks like, and you're more than welcome to pull from this. More than welcome to suggest players in the chat. Also, we can dig into those. If you have a player prop in mind, we can dig into it together and see if it's a good one to add to a slip. Matthew Boyd under strikeouts today. Cleveland hosting the Chicago Cubs. All the books have this set to 4.5, 5.5. And underdog has this set to 5. So you can see minus 222, 200, 225 to go under 5.5. These books, FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, Caesars, even Pinnacle, has this prop to where 4 looks like the number they're projecting for him. So going under 5 at 5 makes sense. Now he does have the potential to push, but if you're willing to play that, that's the risk you're taking. 2 data points for this esports play. Wood 7 first map headshots set to 3. You can see that the other 2 books that are taking action on this are PrizePicks and HOTSTREAK. Both of these are set to 3.5. So the much lower line, you want to take the over on that one. There's a nice discrepancy there. Brett over first map kills 10.5. You got two pick'em sites setting this to 11.5 and 11. So clearly underdog is giving you the lowest line. Under 7 strikeouts for Hunter Green. You can see that the other books have this set to 7.5, 6.5. Seems to be that favorite number, 6.5. But they have them going under this line. I feel like St. Louis strikes out a lot, but we need to definitely dig into that on props.cash to see what the real reason is that his line is set to go under here. All right. Let's pull up BETR real quick. See what's popping over there. What's good, JR? What's good, T? Yeah, Shohei and Judge. Judge came through with that second hit. Man, they got waxed yesterday. 11-2, 11-3, whatever it was. Nobody saw that shit coming. Yeah, and Shohei, just 1 hit, right? But it was a home run. So we took the over on his demon hits. Man, that home run. I think he was like 0 for 2, and then he goes yard. I think on his 3rd or 4th at bat. But Ohtani's in a good spot today again. Once these guys start heating up, it's fun to take the overs on their plays because it's like it's just a fun sweat. All right, so BETR fantasy. A couple of these Dodgers are popping today. Teoscar Hernandez over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Good amount of support. Taylor Ward under, Carlson under, Jake Berger under. We're probably going to start over on BETR and build out a slip on BETR first because there is just way more support for these plays. And a few of these I know about already because of the research I was doing this morning, but there are a few new names up here or a few names that are being moved up to the top that weren't so high up on the board when I started my research about 3 hours ago. So it's nice to see some of these names being moved up. I mean, build a 5 pick over on BETR with Teoscar, Taylor, Dylan Carlson, Berger, and Jonathan Cannon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 plays right there. Jonathan Cannon over 3.5 strikeouts. We just talked about Judge. 3.5 strikeouts might be a little too low. You do have some strikeout potential in that lineup. Definitely want to check that out. So if we literally just rolled with this, the first 5 we see on the board, selecting these 5 give us a 4.43% chance to hit. It's not going to grade out a plus EV, unfortunately, because the line to meet on BETR for a 5-man is -121, and you can see all these plays are coming in just slightly under. But that's the thing with BETR, is they very rarely have those plus EV plays. So then we look to the support, and you get 4, 5, 6, 7, sometimes even 8 books that like a play. That's a lot of juice, you know. So you just follow the data, even if the percent chance to hit is not there, which it usually is not on BETR, unless it's MMA or golf is where you see those light up green. So I'm going to build this out real quick. This is going to be our first slip, and I'm literally just going to go write down the list here. Taylor Ward under. My phone is I feel like technology today has just been at a all-time low. Maybe it's just the pick'em sites that is like the PrizePicks maintenance yesterday. I don't know what they did, but my screen is so sensitive now. Just scrolling down automatically refreshes my screen on my app, which never used to happen. You used to have to really like pull it down to refresh your screen. It's so sensitive now. It's just like barely scrolling and it'll refresh and bring me right back up to the front or to the top of my slips. I don't know if it's just my phone or if I just have a heavy thumb. I don't fucking know, but it wasn't doing that before the maintenance. So all that means is that people are going to complain if that's the thing. And then PrizePicks is going to have to shut down the site once again for 5 hours. So if you're not playing on any other pick'em site, you really do need to be playing on a different pick'em site. If you think that PrizePicks is the best show in town, you're clearly not watching enough shows. PrizePicks is fine. In 2021, PrizePicks was amazing because it was the first of its kind. Weren't really too many pick'em sites out there that could compete. I think the only other one was Monkey Knife Fight. If anybody remembers that one. But 4 years later, 3 years later, there was a lot of change in the industry. So yeah, all that to say, if you're not playing on different pick'em sites, you really should, whether it's Underdog, BETR. I don't even care if you use my promo codes. Just get some exposure to other pick'em sites, because in terms of promos and deposit matches and all that kind of stuff, I mean, as you can see, PrizePicks is really starting to put the clamps on a lot of that stuff. They've lowered the Taco Tuesday entry amount. They've lowered their Flex Friday entry amount. So they're putting it down. So usually some of these smaller pick'em sites or these newer pick'em sites will offer more. They're trying to get basically traffic through the door, trying to get people on their platform. The more eyes they have on their product, the more money they make. So take advantage of some of these newer ones. If not for anything, take advantage of the promo, take advantage of the promos, take advantage of all the deposit matches. All right. Got this first slip built it out on my phone. I'll put the link in the chat. Maybe it's my phone. My screen is real slick. Or maybe I just got a greasy, heavy thumb. I have no idea what's going on, but we're going to get this slip done. All right. Appreciate y'all being here on this Tuesday. Damn it, it did it again. So on BETR, you have to copy the link, because if you just copy the entry, it'll literally just paste the image. It'll literally just paste the image, and I can't put the image in the chat. Even if I could, there's no way to. That's not a fun way to build a slip. So let's try this again. There we go. All right. So first slip we built out on BETR. Boom. It's in the chat. Heavy thumb ass. Yeah. Dude. Sometimes it's just like also the humidity here in Texas. I just came back in from walking my dog. So your phone is exposed to all that bullshit, and you bring it back into an AC house and the screen gets all like slick. I don't know. It's weird. All right, let's see what we got. What's up, 6char? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, that's the one. I will say that is the one knock on BETR, at least right now. Once they get more sports on the board, I think they're going to be the one to compete with, because their promos are legit, their payouts are legit. What's up, Lynx? Yeah, but their sports are super limited. You got NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, and some MMA. No tennis, no WNBA, like no Canadian football, no Korean baseball, none of that. So no esports. So once they get their sports up and going, I think they're going to be the ones that we're talking about more. But yeah, for now, PrizePicks and Underdog has a lot of categories. I mean, Underdog has a lot of categories. All right, so slip number one in the chat. We just built out a 5-pick on BETR. Teoscar Hernandez to go over today. He sold us yesterday. We got the under Taylor Ward, under Dylan Carlson, under Jake Berger, and over 3.5 strikeouts for Jonathan Cannon. I do want to pull up that Jonathan Cannon real quick, because we're talking about the Yankees and Judge, and then we're also talking about how the Yankees just got routed yesterday. I think it was 11-2, 11-3. I think everyone was anticipating Kai Bush, I think his name is Ty Bush, getting rocked, and he gave up, I think, 1 hit. I think he had a good game. He didn't strike out a lot of batters. He didn't pitch very, very long, but I mean, while he was in there, he did not give up any production. Jonathan Cannon over 3.5 strikeouts, -140 to go over this line. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books that like the over on this one pretty convincingly too. Barely any juice to the under, most of it to the over. Projected for 4 strikeouts today. That's all we need from him. This game is being played in Chicago, so in his home games over his last 7 home games, he's gone over this in 4, and then over his last 5 home games, he's gone over in 3. Exactly 4 strikeouts in each game. So I'm willing to roll the dice on that one. It's very possible that Judge goes over his lines again, and this guy goes over strikeouts. I mean, a lot can happen in the game. He's projected to go, well, not projected, but he does have a 16.5 pitching outs line. He's gone over that line in 4 straight home games. I bring this up because obviously the longer he's in, you would think the better he's doing. The better he's doing, hopefully the more strikeouts he has, which is what we need. We need 4. So that one's not too bad. All right. Back to PrizePicks. Let's see what we got. We do have a few new plays on the board. A couple of pitcher fantasy scores. These aren't always terrible. We do have to dig into these. If there's one that you like over the other one, let's do it. The over Chris Sale fantasy score worked out for us yesterday. He had 61 61 fantasy points. We talked about Framber Valdez going over his fantasy score. I think beginning of the stream, he was projected to go under, and I just couldn't see how that was going to happen because his strikeouts have been up. He's been going deeper into games, and his earned runs were starting to come down a little bit. I think he finished with like 50 fantasy points. So we can find some value with these fantasy, but not all these are going to be top plays, just because once we do the research, we might find something that doesn't look good. So Michael King under 39.5. That feels really high. Tariq Skubal under 41.5. It's a high number, but the matchup is there. Seattle, they might be the top team in the league at strikeouts versus everybody, I think. Still got Wolfie up there. We got this Alex Bregman under fantasy score. Astros put it on the Rays yesterday. I'm pretty much done with Taj Bradley. Taj Bradley, Simeon Woods Richardson, Chris Sanchez, all these pitchers are the same guy, same fucking guy. They just go out there and they get rocked, and they'll have that one game where they flash talent and brilliance, and they're just not that guy. So I'm probably just going to be staying away from those dudes. I did like the matchup for Taj Bradley yesterday. He just got his ass handed to him. So it happens. But from my personal play experience, every time I pick that guy, he rarely helps my slips profit. So I won't be playing him anymore. It's honestly, sometimes pitchers, I mean, sometimes guys are good enough to be in the MLB, but they're not a good MLB pitcher. They're better than you, but that doesn't mean they're a good MLB pitcher. The talent pool is so deep in the MLB. Some of these back of the rotation guys really aren't as good as we want them to be. Not saying he's a back of the rotation guy, but just, there are 5 pitchers in a rotation. That 5th pitcher compared to that 1st pitcher in the rotation, night and day. Usually night and day. Sometimes you have teams with such deep pitching rotations that 1 through 5, they're all ace pitchers. That doesn't last very long, but every once in a while you have that. I don't think that's the case with Taj Bradley. He's definitely not an ace pitcher. All right, so we got some WNBA on the board. First one I see is Dearica Hamby over 30 point PRA. Now this game tips off on Thursday at 8 p.m. So we finally have some other sports on the board aside from baseball. 3 books have the line set to 30.5. PrizePicks is giving it to you at 30 on the dot. Let's start with that one. I have a feeling this one's going to move at some point, so we can lock it in hopefully today and just take advantage of a low line. Trey Turner over 7.5 hitter fantasy score. We could take a look at that one on props.cash. We're trying to build out a 6 pick. It's going to be pretty difficult. We may have to dip into some of those single point esports plays. Gavin Stone over 4 strikeouts today versus the Brewers. I looked at this one earlier today. I really didn't like it all that much. Devers over 7.5. Let's take a look at that one. No Jarren Duran today. He got suspended for 2 games. I don't know why. I don't think it was PED or anything like that, because he would have been suspended for more than 2 games. I don't know. Maybe he cussed out a fan or something, or I don't know. He did something. It feels like a team violation. 2 games is not a lot, so he maybe just like slapped the ball boy or some shit. All right. Shane Baz and UC Kikuchi over 11.5 total strikeouts today. I'm not really feeling that one either. All right. Gossman under, Skubal under, and Michael King under I want to take one of these today. Let's start with Gossman under 33 pitcher fantasy score versus the Anaheim Angels. Are they the LA Angels? These teams just bounce around. All that shit's kind of the same. The one team relocation that was not the same, but people thought it was the same, was when the Raiders would move from LA to Oakland back to. Dude, those cities are like 10 hours apart. If you drive, it's almost 10 hours apart. From Oakland, from the Bay to LA is not a short commute. So people act like, same thing. It's not. Night and day. North California, Southern California, especially Oakland and LA, couldn't be more different. But sometimes you have these teams bounce around from Anaheim to LA. I mean, San Diego to LA with the Chargers. Those aren't too big of a relocation. So Gossman on the road, man, over his last 10 games, he has 4 games where he's giving you 8+ strikeouts. In those 4 games, he has been able to keep the runs under 3. And then in those 4 games, he also has gotten you at least 6 innings. That's a lot of production. But today, he's on the road versus the Angels. No head-to-head matchup to look at. If we just take a look at his projections today, we can kind of get an idea of what he's going to do. He's going to give up 2.65 earned runs. So that's, 3, but the odds think this is going to go under. So maybe he just gives up 2, goes out there and he strikes out. Wow, his strikeouts are set to go under 5.5. So 5 books that have action on this. Pinnacle is the only book given this action, given his juice to the over, not by much. But let's say he does go out there and get you 6 strikeouts. So that's 18 points. Let's say he goes out there and gets you 18 pitching outs. So we got 18 plus 18, that's 36. 36 minus 6 is 30. The quality start bonus is 34. So with that alone, he is over 33. If he does get the win, then that obviously is way over. But in the event he does give up a 3rd earned run, then that takes him under 33. In the event he goes out there and he gives you 17.5, like 17 pitching outs instead of 18, that takes him under. So it's super close. I don't know if I want to touch that one for Mr. Kevin Gossman. Let's take a look at Tariq Skubal under 41 pitcher fantasy score. And then we'll take a look at Michael King. Now, Skubal set the 41. This matchup with the Mariners is a good one. I said there might be number 1 in the league at strikeouts versus everybody. Well, they're number 3 in whiff rate versus lefties. So that's pretty goddamn close. This game is at home for Skubal. Say he goes out there and gets you 7 strikeouts. Let's say he goes out there and gives up 3 earned runs. So that's 21 minus 6. That's 15. And then he gets you 18 pitching outs. That's 33. With the quality start, that's 37. With a win, that's 43. Without the win, it's only 37. Just based off what we're looking at here in terms of projections and what he's been doing over the last 10 games. Now, if this cat goes out there and pitches 20 innings or 20 outs, there's 20 points. If he goes out there and strikes out 8, that's 44. Quality start bonus is 48. He gives up 3 earned runs. That's 39. If he only gives up 2 earned runs, that's 42. So both of these so far have been pretty close. I still like Skubal the most out of him and Gossman, just because the matchup is prime. They're striking out at such a high rate. Now, the last 10 lefties or so to play against the Seattle Mariners have not done well. We have to go all the way down to Chris Sale, who back in May had 9. They're not facing very many lefties. Look at this from August to June to May, like there's a lot of gaps in there. So they're not facing a lot of lefties. Now against righties, last two right-handed pitchers who have faced these guys have gotten you 8 and 10. So that's a average of 9. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Scooble gets you 8 or more. That one might be something we can look at and put in a slip. And then the other one was Michael King. Looking at the over or looking at the under on his pitcher fantasy score set to 39.5. This one feels a little high, but man, his strikeout numbers have been ridiculous. I mean, he's basically just trading off, 6 strikeouts, double digit, 7 strikeouts, double digit. I mean, this is pretty good production. This game is in San Diego. So at home over his last 10, he's averaging 8, and over his last 5, he's averaging 8. He's going to get you 7 at least based off these numbers here. In terms of his earned runs, looks like he'll give up 2 earned runs. So let's say he gets you 7 strikeouts minus 2 earned runs. That's 15. Then his pitching outs. I don't know, man. Pitching outs, let's say he gets you 16 pitching outs. Let's say he gives you 17 pitching outs. 17 plus 15 is 32. Quality start bonus is 36. Plus the win, that's 42. He does need the win to go over this line. Based off how we're projecting it. Now, if he goes out there and strikes out 10 batters, then he's just going to crush this line. There's no doubt in my mind. He would have to give up 6 earned runs to not go over his fantasy score if he strikes out 10 batters. A very heavy strikeout team with the Pirates, also 6th in the MLB versus righties. History versus Michael King, not terrible. You do have a little sample size in there, but not enough to like stack them. Man, I don't know. What do y'all think? You guys think that any of these pitcher fantasy scores look good to you? Gossman, Scooble, King, which one is standing out to you? Oh, did he really? Did he really? Oh, man. That's crazy, dude. Typical Boston athlete. Fucking Jaron Duran. If you think about it, man, like people put these athletes on a pedestal and they're always so surprised when they do something, say something stupid, but like you're taking like the top 1% of this profession and throwing them into one club, like a boys club, basically. They're the best at what they do in the entire world. And you got all of them in one club. You got ego, you got alpha males, you got all sorts of shit floating around. So I'm never surprised when these dudes do something, say something stupid. They've been getting away with it their whole life. The only difference is they got cameras and microphones everywhere and people are actually looking for them to do something stupid. But that doesn't really surprise me. I hope that drives the price of his rookie cards up. That'd be great. All right. Man, I don't really know which one to go with. What did you say, T? Who are you taking the over on? Oh, somebody was talking shit to him. Yeah, it's hard too, man. These fans are trying to get a reaction out of players. They're really trying to get you to. That's exactly what that fan wanted. And then I know, his attorney's going to reach out to the MLB and demand some settlement, or because he was, emotionally, scarred from that situation. I'm telling you, man, this is what they're after. This is what they're after. You taking the over on all those pitcher fantasy scores, or who you taking the over? You're just gonna go over on everybody today? Oh, you're going over on the pitcher fantasy score because it's raining in some of these ballparks, so the offenses aren't gonna be clicking. Okay. Yeah, somebody comes to your job talking shit, right? It's like, hey man, let's go for a walk real quick. All right. Let's throw this cat in there. We're gonna try to build out a PrizePicks now. I'm gonna put the esports plays in there for now. Like get it started with the esports plays. And then we can build around it. There should have been a couple more that we could. Oh, it was the Dearica Hamby over 30 PRA. I like that one. Now that one we got to wait till Thursday. So once we build this slip out, hopefully the other one's hit and we're not staring at a fucking loss for 2 more days. Hopefully that one hits. I think this is Josh Naylor. All right. Josh Naylor over 6.5 hitter fantasy score. You got this Gavin Stone over 4 strikeouts. He needs 5 to go over versus the Brewers today. I didn't switch my screen, sorry. But I'm back on props.cash. Gavin Stone has a line set to 4.5 on most of the books. You're getting it at 4. Don't forget we have Taco Tuesday today for what that's worth. Put $5 on a taco. $5 on a taco. It's an expensive ass taco. All right. So this guy's been flirting with 3 strikeouts like the last 10 games. Last 5, he's only gone over once. No history versus Milwaukee. Milwaukee bringing in, they're not striking out a ton. I mean, it's not great, but I mean, shit, we just saw Seattle, Pittsburgh in the top 5 with damn near 26% strikeout rate. This is on the season. This is over the last 15 games. They're 12%, so a little bit better. Over the last 30, they're top 10 in strikeouts. So it's just kind of like right there. I mean, the difference between 10, 11, and 12 is probably like 0.1, 0.2. It's not that big of a difference. Not a big jump at all. But Gavin Stone, we need him to get us 5. He's done that in 3 out of his last 10. He's gone 4 or more. I don't really like this one, to be honest with you. BVP versus Gavin Stone. Do we have any numbers in here that we can look at and like? No. Versus righties. You do have some high strikeout numbers in here. I don't like it. We'll move on. Oh, we're going to go with this Devers and Trey Turner. Because no, that's how we got on Jarren Duran. I said there's no Jarren Duran today. Doesn't mean that Devers goes off. It's not like a backup situation in the NFL where a running back steps in and nothing like that. But I mean, I would just assume that without Duran in the offense, you need your other guys to step up. I don't know. Maybe we see a little bit more from Devers today. Also, I like it when we can get his hitter fantasy score under 8.5, and we're getting it at 7. So I think that's a strong line. Trey Turner at 7.5 today. Damn, I did it again. Sorry, guys. Trey Turner over 7.5 hitter fantasy score. Looks okay. How many is that? 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we need one more. We got to go down to the depths of the sea to get this shit. I'm not really feeling that Hunter Green under 7. It's possible he goes 7 or under, but there's the push potential is what bothers me the most. And then we're getting into some NFL. All right. Let's quickly look at Devers. I think Devers can get this. I wanted to look at Trey Turner versus the Marlins. and see who's pitching for Miami. Valente Belozo, that guy's pitching. This game is in the city of brotherly love. So this is a home game for Turner. Over hits, runs, and RBIs. Turner has gone over this, or we're looking at his fantasy, but hits, runs, and RBIs go well with fantasy. Been on a little slump here. Not much of a base stealer, to be honest. Not drawing a ton of walks, so he's going to have to get this done with hits, runs, and RBIs. There is no history between him and Belozo, but let's look at his numbers versus righties. On the season, Turner has a .302 batting average with 8 homers, 10 doubles, 50 singles. His power is pretty much, it's almost the same. You got 8 homers to righties, 5 to lefties. That batting average is damn near the same. Look, it's only separated by that at 1 point. Plate appearances are up versus righties, which is encouraging because the higher number of plate appearances you have, the harder it is to maintain that high batting average, and he's doing it. So that just shows you his level of consistency. I'm willing to take the over on Turner. Yeah, I like that one. Let's go ahead and transition over to a new tab, and then we'll put these 5 on the board while that's loading up. Yeah, let's take a look at Brent Rooker. Yeah, those tacos have me going under on the OG line and over on the taco, trying to leverage those. I'm still under the assumption that even though PrizePicks gives us the option to vote, that there are a lot of fake votes, I think. It'd be a little different. It'd be a little different if PrizePicks gave us the option to choose the players and then vote, but they're suggesting the players. So it's like, I don't mind the Hamby over 30.5 because it got bumped up, but now it's just on the same level as the other play. So it's not a worse play. It's just not as good. Yeah, like when you're telling people like, hey, you get the option to pick, but here are the players you got to pick from, it's not really an option to pick, It's like going on like somebody taking you on a free shopping spree, but then telling you can only buy from this one section of the store. Dude, if Brent Rooker keeps playing like this, he's going to find his ass on a new team next year or whenever, because that's what happens in Oakland. Oakland's like the farm system for the MLB. You have guys coming out of Oakland just signing massive contracts to other teams. Remember Johnny Damon? Olsen. I don't know if Chapman signed a monster contract. I know that's just 2 guys, but there are a lot of guys who start in Oakland and don't last very long in Oakland because it's such a small market, and you just have one of these big market teams come in and swoop them up. It's done deal. It's a done deal. Let's take a look at Brent Rooker over his fantasy score here. Finally, freaking our boy, what's his name? Lawrence Butler went over something. I did what JR was doing with Gunnar. He just like was into far with Gunnar Henderson's props. Me too with Lawrence Butler. I just kept playing his shit, and he finally went over one day last week. So I was happy about that. All right, let's take a look at Brent Rooker. We need to go over on fantasy. This game is on the road. This game is in New York. No history versus Paul Blackbear. In fact, the only A on this team, Abraham Toro, crushes Paul Blackbear. But we'll look at Brent Rooker versus righties since we don't have a sample size. Batting average is almost the same. We talked about this with Trey Turner having a good batting average versus righties with a higher number of plate appearances. Same thing for Brent Rooker. Batting 295 against lefties, 290 against righties, but you can see the difference in plate appearances. That's almost a 300 plate appearance difference, and he's still maintaining a 290 batting average. All his power. 20 out of his 29 homers has come versus righties. 1 triple, 17 doubles, and 15 singles. Numbers look good against righties. In terms of his strikeouts are pretty high. 30% strikeout rate. The A's do strike out a lot. The A's strike out a ton. So there's no surprise there. That's 103 strikeouts versus righties. Well, he also has 20 homers versus righties. So pick a lane. We like it. We like this one. On the other side, Paul Blackburn. I think he's facing his old team. I think he did at one time pitch for the A's. Allowing a 282 batting average to right-handed batters like Brent Rooker. 6 homers, 7 doubles, and 18 singles. Brent Rooker is hitting well on the road, displaying a bit of power on the road as well. Over his last 10 road games, he has a total of 7 homers, 9 strikeouts, almost averaging a strikeout per game. We don't hate it. Do we like Brent Rooker for that last spot and make it a 6 pick? For real, Travis. Only one day in. Yesterday was not the greatest day. Except I'm better. I did okay on better. All right, so we got Wolfie under, Naylor over, Turner over. I didn't realize we're loading up on fantasy scores in this one. This is not what we set out to do, but we just played the value that was available to us. We like the over on this Turner. We looked at the Brent Rooker play. Devers, I didn't look at Devers today. We can really quickly take a look at Rafael Devers today. Today versus Texas, pitcher matchup versus Jose Urena. 8 plate appearances. He has 3 hits, 2 doubles, 1 single. Very little, if nothing there. So very little stolen base upside for Devers. Walks are part of fantasy score. So if he drew a walk today, which there's a shot of him drawing a walk, he scores a run. That's 246 right there. He goes ahead and gets you a single. That's 9 fantasy points. He's over just like that. This game is in Fenway. I should have done this at the beginning. So 2 homers over his last 10, 1 homer over his last 5. In terms of his runs and RBIs at home, struggling a little bit in his last 3 games at home, especially yesterday. Compare that to his last 5 on the road. A little bit better. But let's take a look at his numbers versus right-handed pitching. 21 homers, 2 triples, 21 doubles, 36 singles, batting .327, and he's only striking out 17.7% of the time. Real quick, just another way to kind of double down on a player prop. If you like the over on Devers, Jose Urania is minus 137 to go over 3.5 earned runs. So it's probably 3. If he allows 3 earned runs, we'd like Devers to be a part of that production. It's possible that he's a part of that production since he hits righty so well. Over his last 5 games, he's had some success. But that one game, this is a Boston game, he gave up 7 earned runs. So let's do it. First slip on PrizePicks. We're going to put this in. Oh, man. Much easier to share a slip in the chat when we build it on PrizePicks, because literally all I have to do is go to share slip and then paste. And we're good. Appreciate y'all being here. Hit that like button on your way in or out. Let's take a look at this Haps on the Craps fantasy score. Jesus, when Oakland plays, I like putting Butler for and Andujar for a run and Rooker for the RBI. If you can stack that, that's a way to go. I know BETR won't let us stack. They will definitely put the clamps on that. Underdog will reduce your payout if you try to stack. PrizePicks might be the only pick'em site to let you get away with that. But they also don't give you all the plays available. So they do make you choose based off what they want on the board. But yeah, if you can ever stack a core, a nice little 3-4 player stack, that is the way to go. You could go all demons. I don't think they'd let you, I don't think they'd mind if you went all demons on a team stack. All right, let's take a look at Haps. Justin Holiday over strikeout props. Who does he play for? Tigers. That's the only player. Hold on. Does he not play for the Tigers? Orioles. Is it Orioles? Man. Who do you play for, sir? There's literally no other Justin on the slate today besides Justin Turner. So it might be too good of a prop. I don't know. Unless he got sent down to the minors or something. Am I spelling his name wrong? I don't know. That guy doesn't exist anymore. I know who he is. I hate when this happens. There we go. Okay, never mind. There we go. Really? Just 2 hits in his last. What are we looking at? What's going on today? Jesus Christ, man. Fucking player props. All right. Ian Happ versus Matthew Boyd. 3 plate appearances, 1,000 batting average. 1 double, 1 single, and 1. He is 3 for 3 with a single, a double, a home run, and 2 RBIs. He is clearly hitting Matthew Boyd really well, as is Swanson. Versus righties, Ian Happ he's just hitting Matthew Boyd way better than any other righty he's playing against, he's faced. On the season versus right-handed pitching, 13 homers. One of those came against Boyd. I don't know if this is this season though, so it's possible it wasn't this season. But still, 13 homers, a lot of extra base hits, 21 extra base hits. That one looks fun. That one does look fun. What is Matthew Boyd projected for in terms of his earned runs? Just 2 books taking action on this one. There's not a lot of data points, but projected to go at least 2 earned runs today. 100. Batting 1,000 at the plate. 3 for 3. That's insane. They may have taken him off. I don't know why. If he's not showing on props.cash, but I mean, let's just look at yeah, they took him off. Unless he's spelling his name with 2 L's. There's Jackson Holiday right there. I was looking for Justin Holiday, not Jackson Holiday. Okay. So user error. No strikeout prop on PrizePicks, but if you can find Jackson Holiday, if you can find Justin Holiday, let me know, because that dude does not exist. But Jackson Holiday does exist. If you find Justin Holiday, let me know. That's like finding Waldo. But we can find Jackson Holiday just fine and take a look at his strikeout props. If you can play a strikeout prop somewhere else, this is what you're looking at here. 5 straight games averaging over 1 strikeout. Over his last 5, over his last 10, he's 15 for 15. He's struck out over 1 strikeout over his last 15 games. He's just striking out every single game. Doesn't mean he's having a bad game. It's part of the game. You can go 2 for 4 with, 2 home runs and a strikeout. But yeah, he's striking out basically every game. I mean, at this rate, he's striking out every game for the rest of the year, right? So it's probably the reason why he's not on PrizePicks with a -250 to go over. I'm surprised his demon is at least his demon is not up there, right? Maybe I would think they'd have his demon prop up there for like 1.5 strikeouts. Look, it's right here. His goblin play is right here. Over 0.5 strikeouts. This might be the easiest hit on the board if you built your slip correctly and you put in another demon or something to balance out that low payout. Like, for instance, let's just throw some shit on here. So your typical 3 would yield you a 5x. It's down to 4, right? Because of the goblin. But let's say, I don't know. Let's say you went with Gavin Stone over his demon strikeouts. Now it's a 13x, right? Your payout on a 4 pick power is a 10x, but just adding that demon in there gives you the payout boost. So it's very possible to build out a slip around a goblin and lock that play in. You could do something like that. But yeah, you're probably not going to find his 0.5 hitter strikeout anywhere with odds like that. If you do, play it, because that one looked like a sure thing. As much as we say there's no such thing as a sure thing or a lock, that one was pretty close to it. Yeah, Seaver, I agree. Seager and Abreu over fantasy. Wilyer Abreu? Yeah. If you're talking about Wilyer Abreu, I like Wilyer Abreu over hits, runs, and RBIs today. Hits, runs, and RBIs go a long way to producing fantasy points. So, I mean, it does make sense. You can correlate that. His numbers against Jose Urena. Same thing with Devers, right? That we looked at with Devers. Numbers against Urena are pretty strong, right? 1 homer, 3 RBIs, one single here. He's 2 for 2. Projected for 2.65 hits, runs, and RBIs. I mean, just tallied up right here. That's 4 points. Where's the single? There's 7 right there. If you want to play his fantasy score, you're not going to be able to play it on PrizePicks. It's probably too good of a play, to be honest with you. His hits, runs, and RBIs were on better, but I didn't look to see if his fantasy score was on better. Let's quickly look at that. No. In fact, they took off his hits, runs, and RBIs on better. So the only thing you can play that is not a boost, which is their version of a demon, is overruns. And that's also available on... No, it's not. No, it's not. PrizePicks has basically put the demon on every one of his player props. So, hey, listen, if you think he goes over fantasy score, then these demons do make sense. Total bases makes sense. Maybe you even want to take a shot on this one. I don't know about the hits. We talk about this all the time. It is hard to get 2+ hits in an MLB game. You can do a lot of damage with 1 hit. You can drive in runs and score runs and extra bases all with 1 hit. And you may not do anything else for the rest of the game, but that 1 hit made a big impact. Getting 2+ hits is not easy. So maybe RBIs, maybe these two up here, if you wanted to flirt with a demon play, if you like the over on his fantasy score, like if you put this one in there. Not as good as the strikeout prop because we have that Jackson Holiday in there. But his fantasy score looked good. His numbers against Urena are pretty strong. And then in the same game, you have Corey Seager. We'll take a look at Corey Seager's numbers today versus Cutter Crawford. Another good sample size here. He's basically 50%, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 2 RBIs. It's pretty strong, man. It's pretty strong. He's projected for 2.6 hits, runs, and RBIs. But there's 2, there's 4, there's 7 right there. I think his fantasy score is set to 7.5, I believe. Just because the projections don't line up exactly over the hitter fantasy line doesn't mean they won't go over it. He's at 8. So especially when you have a matchup where the hitter has displayed power against that pitcher, it's, anything's up in the air. So if he goes out there and, hits a 2 RBI single, you're looking at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points just right there. Adolis Garcia drives him in or something. There's 9. So it can happen in a bunch of different ways, or he can just hit a home run and just make it a sweat-free play. So that one looks good too. I like that Wilyer though. If you can find a demon prop that you like, or if you can find his fantasy score somewhere else, that Wilyer Abreu play might be one to lock into. Oh, hell yeah. You better get up at like 4. Man, even I get up really early, and start my research like around 6. And there's like nothing on the board. There's nothing on the board that early. So when they start putting plays on the board, like you literally have to be on your phone 24 hours a day. you're going to miss a lot of plays. The way they move them around and take them off the board, it's going to happen. Yeah. Let's see. On BETR, Jackson Holiday, and then I got to get out of here. Nah, Jackson Holiday on BETR, he only has 2 projections and they're boosted. So 1.5 hits and over 0.5 walks. Yeah. He'll have to go on a nice little hit streak where he isn't striking out in order for those strikeouts to like be playable again. That's the only time. That's the only reason they'd actually not nerf it with a goblin. But as long as he's striking out like that, yeah, if you were able to take advantage of that early on in that streak, you profited. But now it's just a little too late. Their PrizePicks is on to us. All right, so we built out a PrizePicks slip. There's the link. We built out a BETR slip. We didn't touch underdog today. That's okay. 2 slips today. There's your BETR slip right there. All this is in the chat. We dug into a lot of player props today. So plays that we're leaving off on, if you want to put these in a slip, Will Abreu over total bases, or even Will Abreu over his hits, runs, and RBIs. His numbers against Urania really strong numbers. You should be able to play him in the same lineup as Devers. In fact, I don't think that would reduce your payout. Nah. Goes up a little bit because of the demon play. So yeah, you can definitely play these 2 in the same lineup if you want it. I don't know where they're batting in the order. It might be correlation. It may not. We talked about the over on Jackson Holiday strikeout prop. If you can find that somewhere, play it. You should be able to play it on PrizePicks and build around it with the right plays and still get a payout boost because it's a goblin now. Who else do we talk about? Trey Turner's in a good spot today over fantasy points. I think those are the only plays that, not the only plays we like, but those are the ones that had really good numbers. BVP, last 5, all that look real good. You can probably play those in multiple slips. The great thing about a good fantasy score is that you can break it down and play components of it. So you can play the fantasy score and maybe go over hits, runs, and RBIs, or then maybe go over a demon run score or a demon RBI play. The over on a fantasy score opens up a lot of options for you, but it has to be a good prop to begin with. And that's just, you're just leveraging that one play. That's smart. Yeah. There you go. I'll build out a couple of slips today and put them in a Discord. I'll share my Taco Tuesday slip in the Discord as well. But that's going to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all being here on a Tuesday morning. Hit the like button on your way out if you didn't get a chance to do it on the way in. And I'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. with another Player Prop Talk live stream. That one is already scheduled out. So make sure your notification bell is on. If they are, then you saw that come through. But it's already scheduled for tomorrow. So I'll see everybody tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for another Player Prop Talk live stream. And until that live stream, Chavez is out.